and welcome to another episode of Aligned Heart. This is Misty Springer, and I am so happy to be on this journey with all of you today. I have a really full heart right now. I've been sharing this podcast with all of you out there, and I've been receiving so much beautiful feedback and encouragement. It just really means so much. It touches my heart in so many ways. I really have just felt into gratitude today for each and every one of you, for all of you listening. And I really feel like I'm sitting in a room with all of you and just having this beautiful conversation. I have hosted several retreats. It's my favorite thing to just gather in a room with women and feel your hearts and feel that collective connection that helps us all to rise. One of my favorite quotes is, "A rising tide lifts all boats." And I really feel that connection with all of you, that's what I'm up to in this podcast, is helping all of us to rise. A rising tide really does lift all boats. And so, with that, we're going to dive into today's topic, calibrating to your highest self. And this is a topic that is really near and dear to my heart. It's something that I am up to in the world, it's something that my clients are up to. I work with ordinary women who are doing extraordinary things. And they would never say that they're extraordinary. In fact, they feel pretty ordinary. And yet, when we step back and look at all that they're creating in their life, in their homes, in their businesses, in their relationships, in their bodies, they are truly creating extraordinary things in their life. They're up to the extraordinary. And they are calibrating to that next level, to the next higher version of themselves. It doesn't mean that they have arrived. It just means that progression feels really important. It feels like this inherent desire to grow. And the women that I work with, and most likely all of you, because you're here, are here because you feel that desire to grow. There is this this inherent divine nature within all of us to expand, to grow, to progress, to become the next highest version of ourselves, whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It's just stepping into that next version of ourselves. And the clients that I work with, and myself included, it's all parts of life. This is not just about, I want to make more money in my business, or I want to sign more clients. This is about, I want to show up as a more present mom. I want to be connected in my relationship. I want to find and cultivate a relationship that feels meaningful. And I know that I am responsible for me and for the experience that I have in my life, and that I can't expect others around me to change in order for me to feel better. That I am taking ultimate responsibility for the kind of life that I want. And that includes how I show up to myself, to the choices I make in my own body, how I treat my feelings, and the way that I take care of myself, the way that I show up to my family, the way that I show up to my spouse or to my business. It matters. And so, what we are up to in this world is awakening the best you. It's not about finding. I don't believe we are finding the best version of ourselves. I believe that we are remembering or awakening that part of us that has always been there. It's an unfolding. It's being on the journey instead of expecting the destination to arrive. I say often with my clients, there is no, I don't know if if you all have seen the little red button on the turkey, when the turkey is done, it just pops out. It's like done. We don't ever have that. We don't have the little red button on us that says, I'm done. We're always in this journey of progression. And I believe that it goes on for eternity. It's something that is just an inherent part of who we are. So when I ask women like who have this desire to grow, that have this desire to be the best version of themselves, to calibrate to that next higher version of themselves, when I ask women what gets in the way, what stops us, there's three things that come up the most often, and that's confusion, doubt, and overwhelm. When we get stuck in confusion, doubt, or overwhelm, it feels like becoming more is out of reach. It feels hard. It feels like I'm holding on by my fingernails. It feels like I'm trying to use willpower to push through. It feels like I don't know what I'm doing. It feels like I don't know what the next step is. It feels like I have tried and I keep falling back into the same patterns. I lay in bed at night and think tomorrow I will be better because today just felt like a failure. All of those feelings are very real and a very natural and normal part of this journey. And there are ways through that. So we're not going to talk so much about the confusion, doubt, and overwhelm today. We're going to talk about the 4 steps to move through that confusion, doubt, and overwhelm. So let's dive in. First is the idea that what you desire, you deserve. Now that word deserve often has a negative connotation. It's a charged word for a lot of my clients, like deserve, like I deserve something like that. Does it feel selfish? It feels like I shouldn't deserve anything. It's that I should be focused on my family and what they want. I should be serving them, not my own desires. And what I would like to offer is that your desires are divine clues. They are here for you. If you have the desire, it means that you have everything you need to accomplish that desire. God would not give you the desire if it wasn't yours to carry out. You are qualified because you are called. The desire is the call. The desire is there for a very important reason, and it's not selfish. It's a divine clue into who you are designed to be. So, one of the questions that I think is really powerful to ask is if I had what I desired, and I want you to think about something that you want, something that you are creating, either in your business, in your family, in your relationship, in your relationship with your body. What is it that you want? What do you want to be experiencing more of or experiencing differently? And now here's the power question. What will having what you desire do for you? Right? What will it do for you? Does it provide confidence? Do you feel peace? Do you feel satisfaction? Do you feel worth or um, success? Right? These feelings are good feelings. If what you desire is providing the outcome of something good, it's a good desire. Now, I want you to take it one step further, and I want you to answer the question, what will having what I desire do for others, specifically those that I love? Because the second voice in your brain is telling you what I desire is selfish. And I want you to think about that a little bit more closely. Oftentimes, what we find is that what I desire is actually really good for the people around me. For a long time, I had the thought, the belief that if I was running this business, I really had a strong desire to be a coach, to share some of these principles that I felt like I was learning. It felt like I was just getting these downloads that felt very important and purposeful to share in the world. That was that first voice. That was that calling in my heart that was like, yes, move forward with this. And then the second voice steps in, and it's all the doubt and the fear of like, oh, well, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be focused on my family. I shouldn't be pursuing a career. I've got to be focused on the home and what matters in the home. And there was a lot of noise and guilt around stepping out in my business. And it kept me from growing and sharing what I felt very naturally called to do, what my heart was calling me to do. And it's even as I right now I am recording this podcast. My son is home for the summer, and what I have been able to calibrate to is a different story around what I desire, I deserve, that my desires are divine clues, that it is actually in service to me, to my family, and to my clients to show up for my desires. It's actually in service. So when I show up in my work, I I come out of my office inspired. I'm more connected to my family. I'm more connected to myself. I laugh more with my kids. Oftentimes, what I would find is that when I was in this place of guilt, I would be with my family, but not fully present. It's like I was going through the motions of being there, but not feeling fully connected or fully alive because I wasn't. I was denying a part of me that wanted to be heard and expressed. Now, what I have been able to arrange in my life is a different story around what business needs to look like. The story that I was seeing and watching others in the industry carry out was a very different story than what I wanted for myself. And so I did have to come back into my heart and say, no, I don't need to grow exponentially. I don't want a massive business. I want the size of business that's perfect for me and my family, and small is enough. And my voice, my heart, my spirit is what dictates what is correct for my business and my family, not what everybody else is doing. And when I started to listen to that voice, I was able to create a very different story that felt aligned and completely connected and in integrity with the mom I wanted to be, and also the purpose that I felt I was here to carry out, the work that felt very important to me. So, step number one, what you desire, you deserve. Your desires are divine clues, they're not selfish. Okay. Second is to calibrate to your highest self. This is what I'm up to in the world. This is what my clients are up to in the world. It's why I put myself in the room with other women who are wanting this growth for themselves. It's why I surround myself with women who are thinking these higher level thoughts, who are practicing being really clean in the way that we're approaching our thinking and our beliefs. It's why I invest in coaching and my own personal growth, because I love that I have a coach that can hold a higher version of me, and I get to calibrate to that. She's holding space for that higher version of me. She believes fully in that higher version of me, and I get to rise into that. It's what I do for my clients. When I start as a coaching um, package with any of my clients, I begin with this process. We get to know your highest self because that's so important. It is so important that you know exactly who you're calibrating to. Oftentimes, when I'll ask, what do you want, my clients, when they first start in their work with me, that what they want is really fuzzy. They can tell me everything that they're not. They can tell me all the ways that they're failing and all the ways that things are not working, They can tell me all their fears. That's really loud. What is fuzzy, what is not clear, is who they truly are, this higher version of themselves. And so, how do you shoot? How do you hit a target that you can't see? When you're calibrating to your higher self, you have to know what that higher self is. How does she think? What does she believe? What's the energy that she's moving in the world with? And then you calibrate your energy with her, and you can't help but move in that direction. One of my favorite quotes, you'll hear me say it often, is where you shine your light is what you will see, and what you see is the direction you'll go. As you calibrate to that higher version of you, you consciously and intentionally shine your light on that higher version of yourself. You think the thoughts that she would think. You intentionally choose to walk in that energy, to choose the thoughts and the beliefs that are in alignment with her. So, one story that I think illustrates this really well. There is a parable of a man who walks into a room full of mirrors. And in this room full of mirrors, he comes into this room full of mirrors, and he is thinking, nobody likes me, nothing is going my way. This is the ugliest room full of mirrors that I've ever experienced. And as he walks into this room full of mirrors, all he sees are frowning faces, scowls, and he feels rejected. He feels dismissed. He feels like he's not wanted. And he walks out of the house thinking, that was the worst house that I've ever walked in. I've never felt so disconnected. I've never felt so unwanted. And now the second man walks into this house of mirrors, and he feels that he is wanted, that he is up to great things in the world, that everybody is his friend, and that it's an opportunity to meet somebody new with every interaction that he has. And as he walks into this house of mirrors, what he sees are smiling faces. He sees open arms. He sees a connection and opportunity. That's what's reflected back to him in this house of mirrors. And he walks out of that exact same house and says, wow, what an incredible house that was. I felt so welcome. I felt so connected. There were so many opportunities to meet amazing people. I saw so many friendly faces in there. Same house, same mirrors. It's what you are walking into that house, what the energy you bring into that house is what is reflected back. So one of the things that I have been practicing lately is aligning with the energy of my highest self. And one of the ways that I've been doing that is with two thoughts. The first is, what is the next available higher vibration thought? I don't have to jump all the way into this. Is not about being Pollyanna perfect. Like, I'm great. Like who was it? The Stuart Smiley, like, I'm smart enough and I'm good enough and everybody likes me, right? This is about coming into a place of truth with what I have available in front of me. Okay. Sometimes I can access a higher vibration thought. For example, I was going on, I was going to be around a friend of mine, and she is a wonderful person, and I really appreciate being with her, but there are some things that sometimes trigger me. And it's not her, it's me. It's my own insecurities, it's my own doubts, but there are times that I get really triggered. And one of the thoughts that I had as I stepped into this experience with her is, wow, she is really good at being herself. She's really good at showing up as who she wants to be. She's got a very strong personality. She's very passionate about what she believes. She's not afraid to share about what she believes. And as I was able to recognize that thought, there was no resentment there at all. There was just this beautiful feeling of love and understanding that, wow, she really is good. She's very good at being who she is designed to be. The other thought that I've had, instead of like, sometimes it can get really triggering when in business you see other coaches or people who are running their business and they're having lots of success. And when you're feeling like, oh, my success isn't as great, it can start to feel a little off, right? It can be discouraging. And it can lead down this thought path of what am I doing wrong? One of the ways that I have been calibrating to the next highest thought is just sending blessings, sending absolute gratitude for the example that this coach is showing me of what's possible. Okay, so another way that I've been doing that when I don't have access to those thoughts is what help me to see this differently. Help me to see this differently. And I put it out there as a prayer, and you can offer it to the universe, you can offer it to God, whatever feels aligned for you. I offer it to God as a prayer. Help me to see this differently. And there's always something that comes through for that. Okay, so third step after you calibrate to your highest self, third truth is small and simple is a universal truth. Now, I love universal truths. Universal truths are what I believe are found everywhere. I call it the law of witnesses. It means that truth is truth no matter where you find it. So this is a truth that you find in scripture. It's a truth that you find in good books. It's just common sense. It's that small and simple bring great things. Small and simple steps create great things. It's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Line upon line, you learn things. There is great truth and universal understanding that small and simple is the path to creating great things. So, one of the ways that we can recognize that small and simple, how to have more access to small and simple, because part of the problem with small and simple is that we feel like it's not enough. One of the ways that we stop ourselves from taking small and simple steps is thinking, not good enough. I need to be doing more. I should be doing more. If I'm not perfect, then I'm failing, right? What I have found true for me and my clients is that God gives me the next best step, one tiny, simple step at a time. And that control is an illusion, right? If I know the exact next step, I'm following someone else's plan. Someone else has decided or predetermined what that plan should look like, and I'm following someone else's should. If I know my exact next step, it means I'm following someone else's plan, not my own inner knowing. So, the single greatest way to break through overwhelm is to trust that simple is enough. I'm going to say that again. The single greatest way to break through overwhelm is to trust that simple is enough. It's sufficient. It's exactly right. Another truth is that not knowing is part of the journey to becoming. Right? Not knowing is how we take that next step forward in faith. We have to cultivate the belief of who we are in order to take that next step. And that belief is so much stronger without evidence, right? I have to believe that I am for example, if you wanted to write a book, okay? If you wanted to write a book, You have to believe that you are an author before you start writing. Right? That belief is the cultivation. It's you becoming the writer before you even pick up the pen. All right, which leads me to this quote I love. It's in Leveraging the Universe. It's a book by Mike Dooley. Great little book here. But he says, little tiny dreams require little tiny thoughts and little tiny steps. Great big dreams require great big thoughts and little tiny steps. So he talks about how our job is to simply throw the pitches to the universe, to God or the universe. If we see ourselves responsible for hitting every pitch, throwing the pitch and then hitting every home run, it's going to feel very overwhelming. But if our job is to just simply throw the pitches and let God and the universe hit the home runs, that's a whole lot more freeing, and it takes out the overwhelm. I don't even have to throw a perfect pitch. God and the universe know exactly how to hit a home run. I don't even have to know how to do that. My job is to just throw the pitches. And a final quote along this line: you can't know either where or when the universe will enter your affairs, only that it will. So just pitch your pitches, take your baby steps, enjoy the journey, and prepare to be astounded. Leveraging the Universe, Mike Dooley. It's a great book. So step number 4, final step. Follow the breadcrumbs of yes. This is something that I teach specifically and has made the biggest difference in my marriage, in my business, in my ability to overcome emotional eating. This has been the single greatest tool that I have used in calibrating to that next higher version of myself, to growing into that next version of me. The breadcrumbs of yes are just following the next simple step that is always right here. And the yes of where you're supposed to head is the yes that you feel in your body and your heart, not your mind. That's the knowing that you have in your body that says, yes, reach out to this person. Yes, follow your intuition and write this post. Or yes, go take a walk instead of doing something that you feel like you should. Right? The yes in your body is that knowing in your heart. It is that first voice that is always there telling you what that next step should be. Where you discover and can tune into and turn up the volume on this inner voice of knowing is through stillness. It is how you get to know the language of your heart and the language of your inner knowing. What I'm working on personally, this is something I've been really focused on lately, especially when you're in this place of confusion, which is a part of the journey. Confusion is meant to be a part of the journey. It means that you are in the faith of taking the next step. If you knew the next step, you would not be on your journey. You would be on someone else's journey who had defined the next step for you. They've laid it all out, right? That control is an illusion. It's not true. It means you're following someone else's plan if you know exactly the next step. And confusion is, there's nothing wrong. Doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. It just is an indicator light that you get to tap into your inner knowing and trust your yes. So one of the things that I've been working on in my business and in my marriage is asking what next, trusting that inner knowing and responding immediately. If I get a nudge to go down and give my husband a hug in the middle of the day, even if it's inconvenient, even if it feels like, what? This doesn't make any sense. I go. I do it. I've made the commitment to listen to that inner knowing because I trust that the breadcrumbs of yes are taking me in the direction towards my higher self. And that is something that is important to me. And I've seen it happen over and over again that as I put myself on that path, following the breadcrumbs of yes, I'm calibrating to the energy of my highest self. I'm showing up as her as I listen to that inner voice of knowing and take action immediately. I've been doing that in my business. I ask myself the question every morning, what would love do today for my business, for my kids, for my spouse, for friends and family? All right. So as I listen to that inner knowing, I write it down, I take action on those things. I recognize that listening, pausing, sitting in stillness allows me to take action and move in the direction of my highest self. I'm calibrating to my highest self. So trust the journey. It's not meant to be laid out perfectly. When you pray for patience, it's not like you have a fairy godmother that's going to say bibbity boppity boop and you have patience. You're going to have opportunities to practice patience, and you become the highest version of you with each step that you take. The other thing that I really want to point out here, this is such a powerful thought. You don't have to earn the next step. God is willing to give you everything you need one step at a time. Everything you need to accomplish what you desire is already within you. God is the author and the finisher of your story. So that means He gives you the idea for the story. Then He gives you the inspiration to sit down and write. It means that it was meant for you all along, right? He gives you the idea. He gives you the inspiration to sit down and write. Sometimes you even have to ask for the motivation to sit down and write because there's a lot of fear that comes up. And He helps you finish the story. You don't become an author by thinking about writing a book. You become an author as you have the idea, step forward in faith, and allow God to transform you into an author one step at a time. But the vision and the desire comes first. You calibrate to that higher version of you, the version of you that already has the book done. And as you calibrate to her, you step onto the path and become her, right? So whatever you desire, you have the ability to calibrate to that version of you who already has it and move in that direction, following those breadcrumbs of yes. Okay, so the 4 steps, just in recap: what you desire, you deserve. Your desires are divine clues. Calibrate to your highest self. Small and simple is a universal truth, and how you get there. And follow the breadcrumbs of yes, that inner knowing in your heart. So blessed to be here with all of you. If this is something that you want to take deeper, I highly recommend you join me in the meditation that follows this podcast. We're going to be calibrating to your highest self and taking you on that journey of following the breadcrumbs of yes towards what you desire. And I hope you join me. It's really my pleasure and my joy to be with you all. If this is something that resonates with you, please share. Please leave a review. Please hit the 4-star, the 5-star, whatever you feel aligned to do as you review and follow the podcast. Hit subscribe, hit follow, whatever you feel aligned to. It truly does bless and help me and get this word out to as many people as possible. I am in the business of helping others calibrate to their highest self and doing important work in the world. So whatever that is for you, I'm here, happy to help. And look forward to next week. Can't wait to be with you all. Have a great week. Until next time, we'll see you later.